Please stand for the arrival of our official guests. Representing the Leader of the Opposition, Ms Natalie Marr, Mayor of Townsville City Council, Councillor Jennifer Hill, AM. Representing the Commissioner, Queensland Fire and Emergency Services, Acting Deputy Commissioner Kevin Walsh, AFSM. Representing the Commissioner, Queensland Ambulance Service, Deputy Commissioner Carrie Arbwin. Representing the President, Queensland Australian Bravery Association, Ms Kirsty Lee Brown. And representing the Chair of the Order of Australia Association, Queensland Branch, Mr David Jackson, OAM. Please remain standing for the arrival of Her Excellency, the Honourable Dr Jeannette Young, AC, PSM, Governor of Queensland. Please be seated. Your Excellency, with your permission, I will commence the ceremony. Awarded a Member of the Order of Australia, Mr Peter Maxwell Cook. For significant service to the Indigenous community of the Northern Territory, as founding member of the Gurrugut Gundje Trust, as consultant and interim CEO of the Mamal Land Management Aboriginal Corporation, as a member of the Australian Institute of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Studies, as project coordinator for West Arnhem Land Fire Abatement, as the inaugural CEO of Wardakan Land Management Limited, as Executive Officer for the Caring for Country Unit of the Northern Land Council, and through various committee and advisory roles, including as board member for the Tropical Savannahs Cooperative Research Centre at Charles Darwin University and the Australian Research Council Key Centre for Tropical Wildlife Management, and as a member of the Bushfires Council of the Northern Territory and the State Assessment Panel for Natural Heritage Trust Program.
It's been a great privilege that time to go and get away from the increasing temperature in the top end. When we move pollen, that's the end of the Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Appointed a Member of the Order of Australia, the Honourable Ian Douglas MacDonald. For significant service to the people and the Parliament of Australia, to local government and to the community of Northern Australia, as a Liberal Senator for Queensland and as Chair of the Joint Standing Committee for Foreign Affairs, Defence and Trade, the Committee for Senate, Legal and Constitutional Affairs, through ministerial positions including Minister for Fisheries, Forestry and Conservation and Minister for Regional Services, Territories and Local Government, as Shadow Minister and Shadow Parliamentary Secretary, as Vice President of the Liberal Party of Australia, Queensland Division, and the Prime Minister's representative on the Queensland Liberal Party State Executive, as a life member and patron of the Queensland Young Liberal Movement, as a councillor for Burdekin Shire Council, and as President or Board member of numerous community organisations in North Queensland. Awarded the Australian Fire Service Medal, Mr. Wayne Douglas Scott. For distinguished service to the Queensland Rural Fire Service as a respected member of his local brigade, group and area, incident controller and operations officer, providing exemplary leadership during operational response service to many emergencies and disasters, including fires, floods and cyclones, whose passion for training and education has brought together local brigades and volunteers to enhance skills and build camaraderie, develop leadership, build trust amongst crews and brigades, and build resilience and courage amongst volunteers in times of emergencies. Awarded the Ambulance Service Medal, Assistant Commissioner Matthew Raymond Green. For distinguished service to the Queensland Ambulance Service as an ambulance officer who progressed through the ranks to become Assistant Commissioner of the Northern Region and who has provided frontline leadership, advice, professional development and clinical expertise to the broader paramedic cohort within his area of operations. As a registered critical care paramedic who has been deployed to emergency events including the Banda Aceh tsunami, Tropical Cyclone Debbie and the COVID-19 pandemic, whose active engagement was pivotal in the implementation of the Falls Referral Program initiative, and is the executive sponsor and advocate for the QAS Cultural Safety Unit for over 50 Indigenous cadets, providing frontline clinical leadership and supporting Indigenous community members with health career pathways. Awarded the Emergency Services Medal, Mr. Darryl James Prizeman. For distinguished service as a member of the Queensland Emergency Services, as a member of the Australian Volunteer Coast Guard Association and the Queensland Rural Fire Service, whose skilled mastery of his tradecraft and technical expertise are highly regarded by his peers. As State Chair of the Queensland State Council of the Australian Volunteer Coast Guard Association. As a Squadron Commodore responsible for the Central Queensland region. As a roster duty officer and leading coxswain who has responded to more than 300 activations, and whose enduring legacy is his commitment to emergency services and the benefit that these marine rescue services provide to the community. Awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Mr. Lawrence Wayne Dixon. For service to horticulture through the Australian Lychee Growers Association as co-founder, president, vice president, Central Queensland representative and life member. As creator of Australia's first seedless lychee and various new cultivars. As owner of Rainbow Orchard and the recipient of a Queensland Government Export Award. Awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Mr. Kevin Michael Patel. For service to the road transport industry and to the community of Richmond, as a member of the Livestock and Rural Transporters Association of Queensland, as coordinator of the 2011 Convoy of No Confidence, as co-founder and foundation president of the National Road Freighters Association, as founder of KM and JC Patel Transport, as councillor for Richmond Shire Council and president of the Apex Club of Richmond and the Richmond State School Parents and Citizens Association. Awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Mrs. Dushanti Turngaya. For service to the community through social welfare organisations, as CEO of Yumba Meta Limited, as member of the Townsville Public Intoxication Task Force, the Queensland Standards and Accreditation Council, and the National Advisory Panel for the National Disability Insurance Agency, as a board member for the Community Housing Industry Association Queensland, and Unify Townsville's Multicultural Support Group, as Vice President of the North Queensland Hindu Community, as a volunteer for numerous community organisations including Cowboys House, Meals on Wheels and the Cleveland Youth Detention Centre, as a member of the Townsville Metro Club of Zonta International and as a Justice of the Peace. Awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Mrs. Jeannette Estelle White. For service to youth and to the community of Townsville, as a volunteer for Special Children's Christmas Parties, for Knitted Knockers, the Salvation Army and the Townsville Visitor Information Centre, as a member of the Anglican Church in Townsville and the Townsville Ukulele Groups, and as the 2020 Queensland Senior Volunteer of the Year. Commended for brave conduct, Mr. Benjamin Macaulay. Mr. Ben Macaulay is commended for brave conduct for his actions retrieving a shark attack victim in Syd Harbour on Whitsunday Island, Queensland, on 19 September 2018. At approximately 5:30 p.m, Mr. Macaulay was on duty at the RACQ rescue helicopter, which had been dispatched to receive a woman from her yacht following a shark attack. The helicopter was unable to winch the woman from the yacht due to its rigging, tall masts and proximity to other boats, and so Mr. Macaulay entered the water and swam approximately 40 metres to the yacht. Mr. Macaulay reached the yacht in fading light, treated the wounded patient and placed her in the yacht's dinghy. Mr. Macaulay steered the dinghy towards the helicopter, attached both himself and the woman to the wire, and was lifted up into the helicopter with the patient. The woman was transported to Mackay Base Hospital. For his actions, Mr. Macaulay is commended for brave conduct. Excellency, that concludes the ceremony. I invite you to make your remarks.
Thank you very much. Representing the Leader of the Opposition, Ms Natalie Marr, Townsville City Council Mayor, Councillor Jennifer Hill, AM, representing the Commissioner, Queensland Fire and Emergency Services, Acting Deputy Commissioner Kevin Walsh, AFSM, representing the Commissioner, Queensland Ambulance Service, Deputy Commissioner Kari Arbwin, representing the President of the Queensland Australian Bravery Association, Ms Kirsty Lee Brown, representing the Chair of the Order of Australia Association, Queensland Branch, Mr David Jackson, OAM, our award recipients here this afternoon, your guests, colleagues and families, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to all of you. I would like to start by acknowledging the original custodians of the lands that Townsville is on and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, and particularly note out of our recipients today, so many of you have actively done your best to improve the outcomes and the well-being of our First Nations people. I welcome you most warmly to today's special ceremony, where 9 remarkable North Queenslanders and 1 exceptional recipient who moved here 5 years ago but did a lot of his work in the Northern Territory, all of you have made an outstanding contribution to your community, your state and our nation. It is so delightful to host these investiture ceremonies in regional areas, including here in Townsville. I believe it means that you can invite close family more easily and other guests who are important to you to share the occasion. And also, I greatly enjoy meeting those guests and talking with them after the ceremony. This afternoon, as you've heard, we have an exceptional group of awardees who I believe together represent what makes our Australian honours system so unique and well respected throughout the world. Our system of awards was established in 1975 with the Order of Australia and our Australian Bravery decorations. In the almost half a century since then, more than 50 additional honours and awards have been added, including the Australian Fire Service Medal and the Ambulance Service Medal. But what has remained throughout is the outstanding reputation our system has around the world for its inclusiveness and integrity. The selection process is stringent. Each nomination is scrutinised and intensely researched by a dedicated Honours Secretariat within the Office of the Governor-General. And unlike awards which mark a particular achievement or personal effort, other than perhaps the Bravery Award, the honours presented today recognise and thank the men and women who, in the view of their community, have made a difference through their exceptional commitment to service and to the greater good. Today, as you heard from those citations, each of the awardees has given back to our state and nation in a myriad of ways, whether it be contributing significantly through service to their community as a Member of Parliament, or service to our youth, our First Nations people, or to some of our most vulnerable citizens, or to industries as varied as road transport and horticulture. We've recognised those who have given loyal and dedicated service to our emergency services, including the Rural Fire Service, Volunteer Coast Guard Association and ambulance services. And then in the case of Mr Macaulay, we've recognised someone who demonstrated great courage and selflessness, was not just doing their job. We do not ask people to do that as part of their job. who made a deliberate choice to go from a place of safety to one of danger to provide help to another. But what each one of you have in common is that you have made our community stronger by what you have done. So please, wear those medals with gratitude and pride because they signify the recognition and respect of your fellow Australians. So on behalf of a very grateful state, and if I can speak on behalf of our nation, thank you and congratulations.
That now concludes the ceremony. Please stand for the departure of Her Excellency the Governor. Official guests, aide de camp